Polacco Watch to Kate's Corner.
What up, meat sticks? How we doing?
Kate. Did you get your fill of meat sticks this weekend too?
Oh, every weekend.
Fuck yeah. Ain't no party like a meat stick party.
We are back in the game. Tony
Fuck
saying
yeah.
inappropriate things. We're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah, we're back.
I thought he was just talking about Slim Jims, but there's another meaning behind this meat stick stuff.
That I don't even want to know about the pudding you guys were just talking about, because that sounds a whole new level of disgusting.
Polacco pudding.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Good on that. How are you guys? Happy Raw after Rumble Day.
Oh, there you can say Happy Black History Month for a second.
Also that to all of you guys.
Just from the waist down.
Hey-o!
What, your ass? By the way, did you see the Bailey video that I sent around where she was talking about her cheeks?
Holy shit, she's so funny, man. The way she was like trying so hard not to crack, I was dying. I'm proud of my cheeks. God bless her. God bless her.
Did you also see, Topps put out a WWE trading card set?
Yes, I did.
And there's video of her and Rhea both opening a pack, and they both get Tama Tonga cards, and they both do the yeah.
That's awesome.
It's highly entertaining. Kate from Fightful at Miss Kate Fabe on the socials. She's joining us to talk about the Royal Rumble. You go into the Royal Rumble Saturday night, Kate. Expectations high. By the time the show ends, how are you feeling?
I kind of split. Honestly, like I can't remember the last time we had a shock winner. Like that was really, really fun. Which they did such a good job with the build of making you feel like it could be any one of like five guys, and he wasn't one of those five guys. So I felt like that diversion worked really well. I'm kind of split on where does Jey Uso fit into the picture? Because like if we have him dethrone Gunther, we've seen that match before. It hasn't been my favorite. And that's exactly what we did with Sammy with the IC title this past year. So I don't like love that, but don't hate it either. Like that's a classic babyface story. It definitely doesn't seem like he and Cody are the way to go either, but we still have time. And I'm wondering, like, does Gunther lose by Elimination Chamber? Does The Rock come back and screw with Jay as a way of getting to Cody? Like there's so many possibilities that are now open that I didn't even really think about. I'm very kind of like pleasantly surprised by the fact that the CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns triple threat that seemed to get set up out of that isn't for a title. I actually think that's kind of awesome because it's three top stars that don't necessarily need one. And Charlotte was predictable, but I think her and Tiffany Stratton is an aces call. Like, I think that match is going to be so fun. I think from a character perspective, it can be really cool too. I just like the in-ring on a Jey Uso single run hasn't been there for me that much, but I love that they gave us something different and that there's all these possibilities that make the road to WrestleMania way more exciting than it would have been, I feel like.
It seems like they really are going to go in the direction of Jey Uso challenging Gunther. What's the thought about that match being the headline of WrestleMania? Does that stack up to you?
It does it. And they've done stuff like this in the past where they like have said that the women's match is going to be the other main event because that's a Royal Rumble match or like the winner there would get the other night. And then they just didn't do it. Right. But like, it's kind of tricky now when you have Punk, Rollins, and Reigns in one, and you have possibly Cody and Cena in another. Like that feels so obvious. I don't know. I don't know if that feels like the main event caliber match, partially because we already saw it a bunch of times. Like we've seen Gunther and Jey Uso a bunch. So I'm hoping that something more interesting happens along the way, or that they produce a match that is more exciting than we've seen at Saturday night's main event that we saw in the past. Because I feel like Jey Uso in ring wise has been kind of one dimensional from a singles perspective, but I'm open-minded. I hope that something interesting happens with it.
Now, is there a world where the favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk gets Punk involved in the Jey Uso Gunther match for the title?
I think that's very possible. I think that could also be very fun. But then I feel like if you're gonna undercut Jay's big moment, the person to do that should probably be The Rock or somebody in the Bloodline mix. But it also feels kind of crazy that Punk Rollins Reigns isn't for a title. That does I like it. I like when marquee names do something title adjacent, but I wouldn't be shocked. That's a good way to start a heel turn with Punk too, which I just have been asking for since he came back to AEW. Like, heel Punk is so much more money to me than hockey. It's great to be here. Like, I'm over it with that. Like, let's get back to the juice with CM Punk. When he has like a proper opponent, the promos are a little better. But I would love for that to be the start of a proper turn, because Roman is a face with a lot of like people in the company that don't trust him. So I feel like turning Punk proper heel and turning Roman proper face could be really, really fun. So we'll see. A lot of possibilities.
So you're thinking Cena's going to win the Elimination Chamber then and punch his ticket?
I think so. I think I really would have done Cena Gunther. Like, I think that is such a fun, that's so classic. Like the forward heel, John Cena winning the title as like the American babyface could be really fun. But I do love this idea of the looking in the mirror babyface handoff thing that you could do with Cody. And I also like that WWE is getting away from has to be face, have to be heel. But I like John Cena, man. If anybody deserves to like break that record, to do it at Mania, he feels like the guy. I also, one of my co-hosts at Fight Club said, and I love this idea, like if John Cena just vacated and the next Royal Rumble was for the title, I think that could also throw a really interesting wrench in the gear. I feel like he probably goes out properly because it's John Cena, but man, if he just vacated and the next Royal Rumble was for the title, we haven't done that in decades, right? So some interesting possibilities. I like this. I like this.
Matt, you look confused. I think you might be thinking of Roman Reigns actually having to defend the title in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's all the same.
I mean, he didn't really vacate. I mean, he went in as champion.
You know? I was going to ask the Women's Rumble.
Yes.
There was a lot of people just kind of doing nothing, no?
Yeah, I think that one had a crucial spot that wasn't proper. Like the fact that Bianca was eliminated and Io Sky was eliminated in that spot with Nia Jax. Like I like that spot if it's like mostly like Jada Parker and those kind of gals that got to show out but don't necessarily need a run. I think the Roxanne run from number 3 to the final 2 is awesome. But to me, Bianca should have at least been in that final 4 because she, to me, is the other front runner. It feels like we're headed toward her and Rhea if we can get out of this tag picture. So, and it was a predictable winner. So at least give me some suspense down the line. The pop for Alexa Bliss was insane. That was a really, really fun moment. No Becky was a surprise. And of course, everybody wanted AJ Lee back and she wasn't there. So, but there
we got Nikki Bella.
Good for Nikki, honestly. Like she worked really hard to get a lot better in the time from the Divas era to her kind of second wind run that she had. Man, it's so disheartening because I feel like any clip that comes up with her has Lawler in the background being a piece of shit like on commentary. It bums me out. So I hope for her sake she gets a little bit more than that, but I would be surprised if that is a one-off. I feel like she's probably going to stick around to do some marquee events. She's an important name to have around. She was the longest reigning Divas champion, right? So so good for her. But yeah, we'll see. That Rumble match did kind of in the middle get a little waffly, but I think toward the middle to the end, it picked up.
Yeah. So you mentioned we had Alexa Bliss return. We had Nikki show up. Trish was there. Jordynne Grace made her debut. On the flip side, the men's Rumble was pretty. I mean, look, I don't know who ISO Speed is.
A corpse.
He's dead now. It doesn't matter. R.I.P. that guy with that Braun Breaker spear.
It's a shame you don't. It's really a shame you don't. The kid watches a lot of his videos, and he's fucking insane, and he's really funny.
And then Joe Hendry showed up, which was nice to play.
He got a huge pop too.
Yes.
That surprised me pleasantly. Like I didn't think he would get. I thought he would get a reaction, but he had like a top 3 or 4 reaction of the night. I felt like that was nuts.
But then we lacked any other surprises. I mean, I know there's a stacked roster for the men's side, but I don't know. I would have liked to see a legend show up.
I would have too. Or one thing I liked about the women's Rumble was you had all those NXT names in the mix. And I thought they did a good job with that, of having the key talent from there, Julia, Steph, Jada Parker. Like there was a lot of marquee NXT talent that are kind of the quote unquote next up. Having Ethan Page in there, I thought would have been fun because he's had interactions with The Rock and CM Punk on screen. Thought for sure Trick Williams would be in there to do something with Carmelo Hayes. That didn't come to fruition. And to your point, like, not really any legends. I felt like the Seth Rollins and Roman moments and the Braun Breaker and Roman moments were awesome. Like, I felt like the in-ring was orchestrated better for the men's, and the women's had more variety and surprises. But I was surprised by that too, that by the kind of lack of just I like 1 to 3 nostalgia pops. Other than that, overkill is not for me because I want it to be people that feel like they have a shot at this, right? But like if you took out Andrade, I guess they did iShow Speed, took the Tozawa spot. But like there were a couple of people right in that like from 5 to 9 or so where it just felt like nothing was really going on. Like you could have spiced it up with that. And oh my God, I think the biggest loser of the night was Def Rebel. Holy shit. Those new themes fucking suck. Nobody knew who anybody was. It was so disheartening. The difference between the old themes and the new themes, not even good old themes. Nikki Bella's, you can look, it sucks, but people knew it. Like everything else is just like dance club mix and a name. It was bad. So hopefully they make some changes there.
Yeah, I was watching with a group, and the young lady sitting next to me didn't know who any of the entrants were because she didn't know the music, and she complained openly all night about how terrible the entrance themes were. Last thing before we let you run, Kate, Cody KO, very brutal ladder match. And they sprinkled a little Sami Zayn in there at the end, which was not something I think a lot of people were expecting. He didn't get involved, but he was there in KO's corner. Do we think Sami gets thrown the old Elimination Chamber bone where he challenges Cody after he loses to Phillip tonight?
Man, I wish, but I think they're just going to be lazy and do Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, honestly. I think we got a promo of Kevin Owens saying, like, I'll have your back in the Rumble if you have my back in the match. Neither really happened there, right? So I think Cody is probably destined for a Cena match, but I would love it. Sammy is just such an unbelievable face to me. And he has been flirting around like those top names for so long, and it would be nice for him to get to cash in and get rewarded there. But I think like him beating Gunther is probably going to be his biggest one. And then they'll run back like, oh, I was best friends with Kevin Owens and we won the main event at WrestleMania. And now they'll probably do like and now we're opponents at WrestleMania. Oh my God. So I love them both. They're two of my favorites in the company, but like we've seen it. We've seen it a bunch.
If you had to give a letter grade for the Royal Rumble, Kate, what would you give the Royal Rumble?
Oh, it's so hard because so much of it I feel like depends on how the rest plays out. So I'll go with a solid B because I feel like Jey Uso versus Gunther ain't it, but I'm going to leave room for that to get really exciting because I think some shenanigans could be on the way.
I'll tell you, if you can look past the fact that Lee Fitting at ESPN was a total fucking creep, what he brought to the Royal Rumble, the presentation,
holy shit,
with the shit on the bottom of the screen throughout was fantastic.
all of the production upgrade. Actually, AEW is finally starting to catch up with that a little bit too. Now that they're getting $3 million a week or whatever, you're starting to see it show up there in these production upgrades. But yeah, it was. I think Sean had made a joke. Somebody made a joke that like, nice to see AJ Styles' entrance this time, huh? At the Royal Rumble, nice to see it. Yeah, very, 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 very big upgrades on the weekly television, but definitely showed up in an event as like kind of crucial as Rumble is.
I love it. I love it. Kate, we love you.
We love you.
At Miss Kate Fabe on the socials. Tuesday nights, she's doing Sour Graps. Wednesday night, she's either doing the Mark Order or a Fightful post show. Are you still sitting through fucking Ring of Honor on Thursdays?
Yeah.
I would quit that job. Quit that job. It's bullshit. Fridays, I'm sure you're doing some kind of SmackDown review.
SmackDown review.
Yeah, Saturday, Collision review. I don't know. What are you doing Saturday?
I don't do a Collision review. If there's a PLE or a pay-per-view, I'm on Fightful Select reviewing it. But Collision, I either don't watch in real time or I watch and then turn off my computer and don't do any reviews for. It's delightful.
Will someone from Fightful be covering Maccabea Mania in March?
I don't think so. I'll check back, but they're definitely all over Polanco Watch. So
Polanco Watch. I know Tony's dying to ask, so I'm just going to ask: when do you find time for meat sticks with all this podcasting?
It's what keeps me going.
Wow.
How do you think I pursue such an aggressive podcasting schedule if I'm not fueled by meat sticks constantly?
I don't know. Fucking Handsome Kevin's eating 2 bags of fucking raw broccoli a week. I don't know if that's more in your wheelhouse.
His face right now is so.
The minute you leave, he's going to say something inappropriate.
I would never do such a thing. How dare you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll test that theory, all right?
Now, this was last time Kate was on. She was very appalled. She said this.
Do I look bad? Why isn't he making jokes like about my tits or something?
You got anything else you want to play about the last time Kate was on?
Oh, God, what did I say?
No.
I'm unhinged.
I'm just waiting for it. He's got something in queue.
I have nothing. I got nothing. We got our guest may or may not be drunk, and he's waiting to.
I thought you were going to call him the mayor.
So did I.
Is Dan Barry?
He's here.
Genuinely one of my very favorite people in wrestling. He's the best.
Do you want to say hello to him?
Sure.
Oh, God. Didn't you try to marry him last time you guys were on together?
It wasn't when we were on, but thanks for taking credit for my bit. No, I had.
You want me to talk about your tits instead? I mean, over here.
Are those my only choices? No, that started because when Matt was on the Mark Order, we would play Fuck, Marry, Kill all the time, and I used that as like a promotional thing. And Dan responded and said, "Kill me, please." And I said, "I'm going to marry you. That's way worse." So that's how that went. But hi, Dan Barry.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'll let it get so much worse for you. I'm going to get out of here, Dan. But I
just don't like that nobody's talking about my tits. I have really nice tits.
You have beautiful.
Very frustrating.
We love
don't worry. We'll get into it. We don't want to make Kate feel bad, so we'll let her leave, and then you can take off your shirt and show us them delicious man titties.
I'm pants off right now. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody brought his meat stick.
Bye, meat stick.